So, spoiler alert right off the bat. Are we actually going to have a positive movie review on this podcast?
Yep.
God damn.
It's hard to believe.
A three-way thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Who wants to start? Oh, we're reviewing Kong Skull
Who wants
Island.
to start?
Yeah. Who wants to
Movie
start?
got announced.
Yeah. Kong Skull Island. Let's go.
All right. Well, like since a lot of the remakes that were made struggle to live up to like the different standards of what people expect, I thought Skull Island does a really good job at keeping us on the island to bring the island up to date for like for lack of a better term. Kong gets a huge update here, and this island gets an amazing update. And Kong, as you mentioned, at first is a complete savage. And initially we see him in one way, and slowly we get more peaks of his humanity throughout the film, and it's revealed in a way where it works in proportion with whatever formula they were using, and that worked too. It's not a draining type of like this is exploited and it could be ruined. It was really good.
Yeah. I like the fact that they go over to the island and they have other monsters. This movie was just fun, just super fun. It was a Sunday. I was sitting there and I was just loving every single second of it. I think the movie was great. And like I said, I love that it wasn't just Kong as a bad guy or Kong as a good guy. It was literally Kong and the myriad of other monsters that are inhabiting the island. And then we get some, which I don't know if the old movies did, but we get some context of what's going on there and what purpose he serves and what he's protecting these people and, just what his purpose is. So they give that humanity to him. And as I told you going into the movie that I have always been Godzilla. I like Godzilla. I love something about that monster. But I might be Team Kong after this because
don't switch sides that quickly,
Well, we have a Godzilla movie. Well, that's true. We had a Kong movie, and it was 4 hours. It was 4 hours long.
That depends, though. It was 4 hours long. That is fact. But as I think you read and explained to me, if you are to get Peter Jackson's King Kong and watch it in half an hour installments, like episodes, it just gets so much more palatable.
Like a Netflix series. That was from the Shockwaves podcast. They mentioned that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
So I love the humanity of it, or how he has. They show human traits to him, and they just Godzilla is just a monster that's like Attack on Titan when they're just going forward and they don't care. They just care about destruction. And Kong has these human qualities to him that make you. Where I text you and I said where you're just rooting, like Godzilla's destroying stuff and you're like, all right, like we got to get this monster out of here. We got to take him down. King Kong, you're always rooting for Kong. You're always on his side throughout the whole movie because of these human traits, and you care for the character.
Well, he has Kong traits. You know what I mean? This is the way he is. He had his ancestors and family before that. They all lived on this island. They died on the island. They had adversaries there. The Skull Island. Let's set it up. It starts in 1973, just as the whole Watergate thing is heating up, and the Vietnam War is winding down. That means that John Goodman's character, I think his name's Randa, he's like this touchy Bermuda Triangle conspiracy theorist. He'd probably have a aluminum hat on if he could, but he's the type that there was a jab. He gets out of a cab near Capitol Hill and says, "Mark my words, there'll never be a more screwed up time in Washington." I guess that's an elbow to Trump. But the time period and the setting, you might seem a little arbitrary at first, but it actually works for the film in a very relevant way. And Goodman, who plays this character who's all about government cover-ups, he's gotten his info indicating that there's something hiding uncharted in the South Pacific island. This island, he convinces a senator to fund his field mission where they're going to have an exploration there, and he'll need troubleshooters. So enter like Samuel Jackson's character, who's a U.S. military commander, who's dealing with the humiliation of America in Vietnam, let's say. And you got James Conrad, played by Tom Hiddleston. He's the rebel. He's the British mercenary. He's a tracker.
Dude, he was awesome.
Coming along to document the trip is Madison Weaver, who's played by Brie Larson. She's like the peace man, anti-war photographer. And their crew approaches Skull Island. Anyone want to take it from there?
I just want to say John C. Reilly is where it's
at. Yeah.
I got to do an own section for John C. Reilly.
I did. I have it just for Patrick and just for John C. Reilly, too, because he was an absolute hit. In fact, I'm going to be really bold right now and say that as cool as Tom Hiddleston's character is supposed to be, John C. Reilly's character stole the show. He was a good injection of
I thought you were going to be anti.
Huh?
I thought you were going to be anti John C. Reilly.
No, I mean, he hit every mark he was supposed to try to do. Yeah, I'm not trying to do that, okay? But honestly,
that would hurt me on a personal level.
His character was good, and we could have had even more of it probably. And the way they seemed to use him as a reminding theme of the beginning of the movie, the middle of the movie, and the very end of the movie, he helped set a tone that I think they wanted to get across as far as his character arc, and what they were trying to accomplish and portray with the movie. It really worked. I really don't have many negative things to say about this film at all.
Yeah, well, as you said, we go over to Skull Island, and they're there just to survey. So they start dropping these bombs.
Yeah.
By the way, the soundtrack, awesome. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything made it fun. It was just, like I said, just fun from the get-go. And they start to Black Sabbath's Paranoid. They start dropping these bombs, and then all of a sudden you just see Kong and boom.
Yeah, it's really early in the film they get him involved, and he's nitty and gritty too. The crew approaches Skull Island. It's all mossy rocks, and you got the squad of choppers, if you will. They're getting bashed around by an electrical storm before they start getting bashed around by Kong himself. And they're bombing the island, like you said, with these seismic charges to try to chart it or map it.
Right.
And before you knew it, you got Jackson's character, who has this kill or be killed philosophy, kind of becomes the real enemy in Skull Island. It's sort of stimulating to see this style of action movie packed with ammo and hardware to back it up, with the wins on the side of not destroying everything inside. It's a nice little touch that they brought to it. The film is like straight up primordial, like Carnage, so it works.
Right.
They must have been inspired from the original Skull Island sequence from 1933. With its mythical dinosaurs, and there's a hint of the one from '61, The Mysterious Island by I think it's a classic film that featured a bunch of giant creatures. Kong Island is brimming with those enormous different types of monsters to scale, and like you said, there's all these different types. There's the giant water buffalo, the giant bug stick thing, the exoskeleton, the swarms of blue-blooded pterodactyls, right? The towering spiders. The forest octopus, the Kong battles all kinds of stuff. He doesn't even give he doesn't give a shit. He's the honey badger of his island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love the movies too, because my favorite movie of all time is Jurassic Park. So it gives me that kind of that feel to it, and I like to see all the other things that are inhabiting Skull Island, like I said. But we get to that, and after Kong actually obliterates half the people that came over, they run away to split. They're like, what the hell happened? And they go
split up, basically.
They split, and they go to this little, I guess, village where people come out that looks like they're going to attack them. And then that's when we get introduced to John C. Reilly. Now, John C. Reilly, he is in the beginning of the movie, so spoilers, you guys already know that. Spoilers from here on out. But he's in the beginning of the movie, and it looks like Kong kills him. But Kong was actually attacking one of the monsters that inhabits Skull Island, protecting him from these monsters. Which, do we have a name for them?
Right now, I'm at the part where I wrote for Patrick Manley, where John C. Reilly shows up in the beginning as Hank Marlowe. He's a World War II soldier who has been stranded on an island since 1944. And he's been living there with the native tribe. It kind of suggests that they could be Buddhist monks with faces painted. Like, you know what I mean? Their faces are all painted like, I don't know. It's pretty creative. Make it look good. And he had a counterpart with them, which they were trying to kill each other in the beginning of the movie. And I guess something happened to that person, and that had an impact on him. And yeah, Kong basically is against every living thing that's big enough to be a threat to him on the island all of the time. I'm surprised he finds time to sleep. And I don't think he does. I think they showed a scene where he sleeps just so that we know he sleeps.
Yeah, so then we go into their village. John C. Reilly explains what's going on, and that Kong isn't this big monster that wants to destroy everything in his path. He's actually protecting it, and he's the last of his kind to protect it. They look to him as a god, and he protects these people from, which I gotta find.
Is it Skullcrawler?
Skullcrawlers. That's it. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, and they are these reptilian-looking things, which might be a precursor for Godzilla monsters, but
they're both on what is it? They're all owned by the same company, right? Isn't it Legendary or the parent company's Paramount? Yes.
Right. Well, we'll get to that. Right. But they he explains it to them, and then they see Kong, and it all goes on while the other group is looking for one of their people, which Samuel L. Jackson is this asshole. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah,
he wants to destroy Kong. And by the way, John C. Reilly is like his Step Brothers character, which shouldn't fit in a movie that's not like Step Brothers or one of those types of movies. But for some reason, it just fits. It fits great. He's hilarious. He's the comic relief in the movie, and every single thing worked with it. So if you're a John C. Reilly fan, even a fan of Step Brothers, you could watch this movie for that because it's hilarious. But
it is funny. He's definitely funny in it, and they gave him a lot of that ability for him to do his thing, and that was great. It gave it that balance. I guess some people would look for. What I liked the most about it, and not to detract from anything you said at all, was I liked the pace. The pace was relentless. It was ruthless. I mean, the pace really, when it started to really get going there on the island, it never really kind of let up. It reminded me of the last Mad Max film that came out a couple of years past, where like when the movie starts going, it just doesn't stop and nothing can stop it.
Right.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I like pacing like that. It's aggressive.
Yeah, I mean the foot was on the gas the whole time, and we get to where they are one group that's with John C. Reilly, which is the good guys.
Yeah, they want to get north on the island. That's what their objective is.
Right, they want to get out. Samuel and his crew wants to find this person, and
they want to rendezvous with they want to rescue more parts of their team, and then the rest of them just want to get off the island to that north part of the island where they can get picked up, because there's only going to be one pickup, so they're on a time schedule.
Right. So they all go, and they go to Samuel says, "We're not leaving without him," and they said, "You're basically gonna die if you go and search for him." So of course we go search for him. So they go search for him. They go into this graveyard, and these skull crawlers come out and attack, and they fight them off. But in the meantime, he, I guess, burps out or pukes out a dog tag belonging to the guy that they were searching for.
Yeah, that was it was an excuse for Jackson's character at this point to go wage war on Kong. They did a lot of scenes where, if Kong was to show an angry scowl on his face and kind of grip his hands into a fist, Samuel L. Jackson would do that at the same time. We did have the skull crawlers as an old adversary, but the new adversary was man, and he was going to make it his mission, maybe because of his humbling experience in the Vietnam War as an American, and he just made it. He became the villain. He was the embodiment of what would be evil to the island, to Kong, and to the indigenous population.
Right. I mean, it's us going in, sticking our foot in something that we don't know.
With seismic charges, kaboom.
Yeah, blowing up the island to map it out, and then we find out that Kong is good and he's protecting these people, and now Samuel L. Jackson wants to kill King Kong, and basically destroy the island because without Kong, these people can't live because the skull crawlers will eat them.
Or something else. I mean, the skull crawlers just were there. I guess they had a higher population, and some of the higher ranking skull crawlers were just gigantic. So it's like Kong was there to beat them back daily, hourly. He's always fighting.
He is always fighting.
Like take a break. Like the only time he took a break to eat part of the octopus that like he was fighting because like he was probably exhausted, needs nutrients. Like the guy never really stops.
How many calories do you think Kong has?
These guys got to carb up between fights, you know.
Yeah, he needs
carb
lots of protein and anything he can get. I mean, the guy is just he's a workhorse.
Yeah, and then we get I guess we'll just go right to it, like towards the end, where is there something I can't remember? Is there something that makes this the big one come out, the big skull crawler that we're hoping that?
Oh, the big one was laying and waiting for his best opportunity, and when Samuel L. Jackson tries to spring a surprise attack, and it actually kind of knocks out Kong for a little bit. He's just like, haha, I got a lot of things I can do all at once right now, and he reveals himself. And Samuel L. Jackson's character doesn't have much longer in the story after that. Then it's Kong versus the lead or the alpha skull crawler. And
how awesome was it? Oh,
it's great. It's good.
And he stomped Samuel with his fist, right?
Yeah, Samuel thought he was still going to set off a charge or do this or that, and he just kind of puffed him out, like a bloody little bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my favorite part, one of my favorite parts of the movie is at the end when they're fighting in the battle and Kong's down and the ultimate skull crawler is chasing the humans, and you're like, oh no, and they're shooting at it trying to get away, and you're like, where the hell's Kong? And just out of nowhere, it was the best. He comes with a fucking boulder and he just boom cracks it across the thing's head. I was just like, I jumped up and I started cheering.
Yeah, they actually did a really good job of trying to make what would be like the resolution there is climactic. Well, the climax before the resolution do exactly what it was supposed to do, and I think they're doing a really good job of setting us up while entertaining us for a sequel. And I'm thinking that I would be happy with a sequel, yes, but I would be much more enthusiastic to watch something to kind of bring different worlds together. And since I'm looking it up right now, this is distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, so the production company is Legendary Pictures, and they also basically are making some Godzillas. So if we have a Kong and Godzilla crossover, that'd be awesome.
That's what I was going to ask. That is that kind of what they're leading up to? You think?
Well,
I would love that.
At the end of the movie, after the credits, they allude to it. So after the credits, I guess Tom Hiddleston is sitting there on the eye on Skull Island, and they're like, well, or they're sitting somewhere, and they're like, why are we still here? And they say because there's others, and then they show Godzilla, Mothra, and a couple of the other creatures from the Godzilla
in the cave.
Yeah.
I was just looking. It looks like King Ghidorah.
Yeah. The teaser hints of Mothra and Ghidorah, and I think those are the two. Huh?
Oh yeah, there is.
Well, if there is Mothra, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it might be enough to bring the franchise together. That'd be great.
It's like the new era. It's like, okay, so we're doing superhero movies. Well, now we're getting these monster movies. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Marvel-style sequence at the end of the closing credits that makes it clear that the Skull Island is planned to be in league with like Godzilla, and it's going to be Legendary's monster verse, and it's going to be like the Link series of these creature feature reboots, for lack of a better term, from Warner Brothers themselves.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. So I don't know who I'm gonna root for though.
Well, I think we were talking, and since you were pro Godzilla before you watched this, you said you go for Godzilla, and I I was kind of for both of them just being in the same film together, and I said I would go for Kong just to be like against you.
And it's not going to happen. But I mean, we'll see, because that's the thing is, I liked Godzilla. I liked the Godzilla movie they put out. I really enjoyed it. But once again, it's just like this destructive monster. I just always liked like the lasers and just everything he can do, and I love the just the iconic roar, you know. And I don't know. I always had a soft spot. Remember the game Rampage on Nintendo?
Yeah.
Or on Sega, whatever it was. I used
There were multiple systems it was on. They had one for 64. You liked Lizzie.
I used to play Lizzie. And then I found out Lizzie was a girl. Right?
Oh, you can't play any of Lizzie anymore? Come on.
Dude, the only person that I know is Vlad that plays girl characters.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm totally down, and I'm totally down for more of these movies. Especially, you know, that's the thing. Like with a lot of stuff coming out of Marvel, and a lot of stuff is, you know, when Spider-Man comes out, don't don't dare give me a fucking origin story. You know. Don't give me this Spider-Man. It's been rebooted twice, or this is the second reboot. We don't need an origin story. You know,
I can't watch Spider-Man anymore. I just can't do it. I don't think I was even able to do it the second time. Never mind the third.
I only acknowledge the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
There you go.
Anything else? Sorry, just how I feel.
No, that's fine. I mean,
I don't want to detract. It's been so cool listening to how positive we all thought Skull Island was, because the past couple of movie ones have been tough. Hopefully they continue with this trend, and all of them.
It will continue, and I'll give you if we're going to do a podcast, it will continue. And I was anti what I thought it was about, which I was totally fucking wrong. Is Get Out. Get Out's amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. You know, but I don't know. Anything else on Skull Island?
I think that Patrick was right. It was nice to do a review and have a lot of positive things to say about the movie. And I actually made a conscious effort to want to be able to do that, because the last couple ones we had were a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, and I'm easy to please. I mean, I'm a horror buff, so like that's my thing. But seeing something like this, I even thought going into this I might not like it, because they were on an island, and I don't know. I just didn't think I would have gotten into it. But like I said, by the end I was standing up like I was at a football game or something and cheering them on.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, I enjoyed the ride the whole time. It was awesome. It was a really good show. It was a good time.
Yeah. Anything else?
Just real quick, just like a kind of jumping outside of the topic. They're still doing like the other monster movie reboots, aren't they? Like, aren't they doing like a Swamp Thing or something too? Just to kind of talk about. Did I read that somewhere? Or
I don't know about Swamp Thing, but that'd be awesome.
Well, the creature reboots for Warner Brothers is going to entail all the things that they can basically do single movies with, and then tie into like their monster multiverse thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you mentioned that,
what, they're doing like a new Wolfman or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading the wrong stuff.
No, you just triggered something for me, which is awesome. What would be really cool is if you did this kind of multiverse here with Warner Brothers, and since they're tied here with Legendary. Legendary owns, I don't know if you guys saw a movie called Pacific Rim, and if you were to take that and twist it together with some of this stuff, that would make for a real good time.
Cool. It'd be something new, like with a little new, little old, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, Pacific Rim's not that old, but it had a really cool kind of story to it. I think it was. I loved it. I've been waiting for part 2, and they're just not kind of doing it.
You know what? That's what I was thinking. The Mummy with Tom Cruise. Isn't that like the beginning of like?
I've seen that.
Isn't it? But that's what I'm kind of getting at. Isn't that like the beginning of, like, okay, there's the Mummy monster movies, and like then they're gonna do like maybe Dracula's. I don't know. Maybe I read too into that.
Well, that Mummy one, like I seen the trailer for it. It's not like the standard Mummy like in bandages that we remember from like.
Yeah, isn't it like a hot chick?
It's some chick running around. It's like Egyptian.
She had some bandages on, but most of them are removed and all the
rather quickly. And like,
yeah.
I think she's supposed to be like a pharaoh that would have passed, but still has just been waiting for her time to come back.
Okay, all right.
So like, it is Mummy, and then when you see the title Mummy, you're like, oh, is this a remake of the other Mummy films starring Brendan Fraser? And it's not. It's like, it seems to be a little bit.
R.I.P. Those movies were good movies. Those are some of my nostalgic favorites. But yeah, okay. I feel like I took us off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No. What you're asking is, will they sit down and try to like remake the classic characters like Boris Karloff, with, like Christopher Lee, Cheney Jr. Like they all played those characters: Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein back in the day. This is like the original stuff, even before the Hammer film stuff, where Christopher Lee got really popular. Oh yeah, so then it wouldn't have been Christopher. It would have been Boris Karloff. And not Boris Karloff, someone else. I'll remember when I'm doing.
No, Boris Karloff's in it, but those are entirely different like monsters, if you want to call them.
Yeah.
Those are the universal monsters.
Right.
These are big monsters.
These are Rampage monsters.
These are the monsters from Rampage.
Yeah.
I want you guys to check out Pacific Rim if you get a chance. That's a film.
You have recommended it in the past, and I really have to. You're right.
He does a good job with it. He really does. Because I'll watch pretty much anything Guillermo del Toro puts out. He's pretty good at like just creating things that look pretty interesting to me.
Cool.
All right. Well,
super cool.
As always, this is brought to you by SeftimorLive.com. If you enjoyed it, smash that subscribe button.
Smash it.
Give us a like, and if you saw Skull Island and have any comments, please leave them in the section below. And thank you for watching.